Landmines and jellyfish, welcome back to Knives, I guess, and it's your fault Mom drinks. So, this afternoon, while departing my place of gainful employment, I says to myself, Knives, I guess, it might be a good idea, nay, the best idea, to deliver myself unto Harbor Freight and begin my hunt for the elusive icon knife. And as you do, I walked around the store and gazed upon all manner of finery, and I arrived at the icon section and there was nary a knife to be found. So I found a distinguished gentleman that had a cart full of stock, which he was applying to a shelf, as you do when you work at a place, and he informed me that they got a grand total of 4 knives in, and they all sold out immediately. So I had to leave Harbor Freight with my head held low in bitter defeat, and when I arrived home, I decided to just go online and order one, so it'll be here 5-7 days whenever they ship it. I did want to get that while the hype train was up on it and see what it's all about. Normally I won't spend like 40 entire US dollars on one thing at Harbor Freight. I'm barely willing to spend $14 on an angle grinder there, but I have 2 of those. I had 3 at one point, but I gave one away. But either way, that's coming in, and I wanted to check it out while it was still hot. Now, I'm not going to leave you empty-handed. I've got 2 cool little trinkets from the collection to show you, and the first one's going to be the CRKT Campano. And I got this whenever the mask mandates for the COVID pandemic were peaking. I wanted something where I could just hang the mask on a belt loop and not have to worry about stuffing it in a pocket or something every time I left a building. Because at that point, every time I left the house, I had to make 3 or 4 or 5 stops before I came home because that was the only time I was leaving the house for 2 straight weeks. So this thing did a wonderful job at that, and it did serve as my key ring for quite a while. I have too many keys now, so they're on a different one for work. But you got this little clip right here, and it does a great job as a carabiner. It holds keys remarkably well, and you got a slip joint blade on this, and you guys know I'm not a slip joint guy, but because of the way this is designed and what it did, perfectly fine for me. But you got a half stop right here, and it opens. I don't know whether that's good or bad. I don't know the walk and talk deal. I don't have enough other ones to compare it to, but I do like the way this one feels. And of course, there's your half stop, and closed. And this ring right here makes it a lot of fun to fidget with. You can do that for hours. And as a bonus, you don't irritate somebody that hates hearing that nonstop. Don't ask how I know. But this thing's been really cool. It's served me really well. They're easy to find on Amazon. I think it was around 40 bucks. Don't quote me on that. They do have another one in a different colorway and I think a different blade shape. Maybe a different blade shape. I didn't buy that one because I already spent money on this one, and it is definitely a good little tool to have. I always recommend having one just because it's super useful. And this knife's come in handy quite a few times. The other thing I'm going to show you is my CRKT Guppy. And this is a little multi-tool I picked up because it had the adjustable jaw on it like this instead of the usual pliers. And this thing proved to be very, very useful in a lot of situations at other jobs I've had. Where I work now, not so much. It's not that necessary. But the pièce de résistance is you have these bit holders and this flashlight, and this bit holder magnetically attaches to the guppy itself, and it stays put pretty securely. There's also a couple of rings here that match up with the rings on this, and your bit driver is right here in the tail end, in the hindquarters, and that's what you got. And this thing is really, really good as a bit driver. I was thoroughly surprised by it, and I've used it quite a few times. It stays in the drawer next to the bed with the pile of maybe 80 to 100 knives now. But when I need to do something real quick and I don't have a screwdriver and I don't want to drag myself downstairs, I'll grab this thing and take care of it. And it does really good for that. And these bits are fairly small, so you can do some fairly small jobs with it and have a lot of control over it. Like, this thing is really, really good for what it is. And it's got a blade on it, and it's a slip joint, but there's no half stop, no nothing like that. But it does click into place open. It's got a stop right there at the end, and it's a serviceable knife. You can do what you got to do with it as long as you're not stupid. I don't carry slip joints a lot because I've cut myself on them being stupid, and sometimes I just don't trust myself with it, especially now that I've been using locking knives for so long, and I don't think when I act. You know, if I got to pierce something, I just go in on it. This will eventually fold up on me if I'm not careful, and I don't want to get hurt like that again. No half stop, and it doesn't really grab and pull shut the way it's supposed to either. But as a knife goes, especially attached to a multi-tool, it's really serviceable. But those are 2 little trinkets I have that I really like. They were good investments for me, and I wanted to show those off and complain about Harbor Freight not having what I wanted. But if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the guys that are subscribing. You new guys are awesome. You OGs are awesome. We are slowly making progress towards 1,000. I'm happy to see it. And again, I want to start giving stuff away, so give me a hand. Subscribe. But all that being said, you guys have a great day.